नाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की जय गौर प्रेमानंद की
हरि हरि बोल।
हरे कृष्णा। So thank you all for coming for today's session. So this is I think the first time we are having session in Burlington. So generally we have many programs in temple in Boston, ISKCON Boston, but we don't. I mean, like many people, because of distance and all, traffic, so many things, parking, it's so difficult to visit often regularly. So we are now starting these home programs in various areas across Massachusetts, so that the local people of that community can benefit from this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. So I thank you all for coming, and especially thank you to Rajat Prabhu and Mataji for hosting, and Vishal Prabhu also, who is here. So I think we'll introduce all of the core members later, but I think in pursuit of time, let's begin. Okay, so it's 7:11. So I think how the session will go is now 7:11. So now till around 8 or 8:05, we'll have the session in an interactive way, and then we'll do mantra meditation for 5-10 minutes till 8:15, and then we'll proceed to Gita Prasadam. Hare Krishna. So this is a series actually of sessions, which is, so this session is the first session of this series. We generally call it as Journey of Self-Discovery or Science of Self-Realizations. So I think we are meeting very regularly, so first and third Friday of every month. So we thought that just like we have studies in material circles, all of us take BTech, MTech, PhDs. Similarly, in spiritual circle also, there is syllabus of studies, and Bhagavad Gita is compared to the undergrad study. There are advanced versions also. Bhagavatam is considered postgrad. Srimad Bhagavatam, similarly, Chaitanya Charitamrita is compared to PhD, like that. And then there are various Upanishads and various things. So there is a whole tree of Vedic knowledge. So we'll start with Bhagavad Gita, and now what we are having is introduction to Bhagavad Gita, but later as we proceed, so verse by verse we'll also study, not verse by verse, but section by section, various topics of Gita. But let's begin and see first of all that what is Bhagavad Gita and why we need this. So in the end, everyone is looking for happiness. So that's what it is. Everyone is searching for happiness, and people find happiness in various means and ways. So there are different levels of happiness: physical, mental, intellectual, spiritual, right? So the lowest level is physical, it stays for some time. Then mental stays for more time, intellectual stays for even more time, and spiritual stays for all the time. So most of the people, they look for pleasures on physical, mental, and intellectual levels. So, physical pleasure, to give examples, so sense and sense objects. Suppose someone wants to eat nice food, watch cinema. So, it's all physical on the level of senses. And then mind, on the level of mind, there are many things which not on the level of sense, but on the level of mind and intelligence. So if someone wants to earn big degree, so that's intellectual pleasure that stays for a long time. But spiritual pleasure, it stays for not just this life, but all the lives. And it is the nature of soul. So we'll study. So this comes in Bhagavad Gita second chapter. That will be next session about body and soul. But just to give a glimpse. So in the end, everyone is looking for happiness. So you might have seen in India people going to Himalayas, doing austerities, tapasyas. Why they are doing that? What is the purpose of that? Anyone? So no one would like to, harm body and do so much tapasya, so much austerities. So what is the purpose of it? Anyone would like to say?
To attain spiritual.
Attain spiritual
Peace or
peace. Okay.
to find self.
To find self. Yes, I think everyone is correct. So in the end, everyone wants happiness. That's it. That is the goal of everyone's life. That everyone wants happiness. Now, where to find happiness? That is the question. So spiritualists, they try to find happiness, which is eternal happiness. So therefore, for achieving eternal happiness, they sacrifice, temporary happiness. Just like, for example, if someone is studying for JE, so now he may, go and completely get detached from the world. For what? That is a temporary phase, maybe 1 year, 2 years. But he knows that if he does that, then that will lead to eternal happiness. I mean, like, at least his life will be very bright, correct? So now he is taking austerities, but the goal is to attain happiness, to become happy in the future. Similarly, the yogis and nannies and so many spiritualists, transcendentalists, so you may find that they undergo severe austerities, penances, but the purpose is very clear. Ramante Anante Yogino Satchinananda. So it is said that Ramante Ananta Yogina. That means the yogis, they also are looking for happiness. Ananta happiness. Ananta. That means which is unending happiness. That is the goal. So a materialistic person is also looking for happiness. A spiritualist is also looking for happiness. But a spiritualist is looking for happiness that is eternal happiness. And a materialistic person is looking for happiness of this world. So Krishna says two terms to describe the happiness of this world. I mean, like the situation of this world. So all of you can repeat after me. Mamupetya punarjanma dukkhalayam ashashvatam. So two words he says. Dukkhalayam and ashashvatam. So who is saying this? Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. So because who says that is also important, right? So who is saying this? Lord himself is saying. Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita. Not any contradictory. Krishna himself, who is the Supreme Lord, he is saying this. So when he is describing this world, so maybe we'll study about cosmology later, Vedic cosmology, but there are different planetary systems. So we are in the middle planetary system. So it is called Bhuloka. And there is Bhuvarloka, Swargaloka, like that, Om Bhur Bhuvasva, Bhur Bhuvasva. And there is Janaloka, Tapaloka, like that. But he says of this world. Now when it comes to this planet, So Krishna says and describes this world as Dukkhalayam Ashashvatam. So Dukkhalayam means a place where there is misery. Alay means what? A place where, alay means like when you say pustakalay, that means what? Place where you find books. Himalaya, place where you find snow. Hima is snow. Rugnalaya, a place where you find patients. Yes. Similarly, Dukkhalaya means what?
You find misery.
A place where you find misery. So this first word he says, second he says is Ashashvatam. Shashvat means permanent. Ashashvatam means temporary. Right? So two things, very important. So see, now the thing is, we are discussing this. This is very important to discuss. Many times people just set up things. What's the news? Why are you discussing this? The subject matter. This is about life, death, and beyond. But an intelligent person actually will discuss this, and the purpose of this discussion is to help mitigate this. Correct? So we are discussing this so that we will find spiritual solutions to this problem. So when Krishna says this, Dukkhalayam Ashashvatam, so he is describing about this material world. But then later he says about how to get spiritual happiness. Because our situation in this world is temporary. Correct? Huh? So this body is for a few years. We don't know how much. So maximum 100 years. But no one has seen beyond, no one lives beyond 100 years. So he is saying that a person in this world, he tries to find happiness through eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. So these are the four principal ways of finding happiness. And the point is, animals also do the same: eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Animals eat, animals also sleep, animals also have their family, and animals also defend, protect. So humans also do the same thing. But the scriptures, they say this verse. You can repeat after me. Ahara nidra bhayamaithunam cha samanyametaat pasubhi naranam dharmo hitesham adhiko vishesho dharme nahina pasubhi samana. This is a verse in Mahabharata. So what it says, Ahar, Nidra, Bhay and Maithun. So Ahar means eating, Nidra means sleeping, Bhay means fear or defend. Every country wants to defend and have their own. So everyone wants to defend from other person. So out of fear. Bhay and Maithun means sex life. So here is saying that Samanyam, Eta, Pashubhinara. These things are common between human and animals. So what is the difference between humans and animals? The third line says that Dharmo hitesham adhiko vishesho. That means dharma is the one that differentiates humans from animals. And dharmena hina pashubi samana. Without dharma, a person is just like an animal. So that is actually differentiating when human life starts. Otherwise, there is a term in scriptures which says humans as dvipada pashu. That means what? Dvipada pashu. So two-legged animal. Animals have 4 legs. Pashu has 4 legs. Animal like giraffe, tigers, elephants. Everyone has 4 legs. So they are animals. But if a person, he doesn't ask these questions about self-realization, about dharma. Dharma is not just religion. Actually, it's a very deep term. Because there are many things in Sanskrit which cannot be translated literally to English. So dharma is actually the nature of a person which cannot be changed. So the nature of soul is like that. to look after eternal happiness. So dharmo hi tesham adhiko vishesho. Dharmenena pashubi samah. So if you don't actually inquire about this, then our life is actually not different from animals. That's what scriptures say. Actually, scriptures condemn. So if human just eat slave meat and fight in a more sophisticated way, then how is a human being superior to animals? Right? So therefore, the scriptures, the Vedanta Sutra. So there are Vedas. Many Vedas are huge. They are vast. They have millions and trillions of verses. But the summary study of Vedas, it is called Vedanta Sutra. So Vedanta Sutra means a formula. You have studied formulas. So it's like a short form of, condensed form of all the Vedas. So the Vedanta Sutra, which is the condensed summary study of the Vedas. So the first verse of Vedanta Sutra, it says Athato Brahma Jigyasa. This is the first sutra of Vedanta Sutra. Athato Brahma Jigyasa. So what it means? Athato means, in Sanskrit it means therefore. Athato, therefore. Now Brahma Jigyasa. Brahma means inquire about higher Brahman. Brahman is God. And Jigyasa means
Curiosity.
Curiosity or inquire. So what it says, Athato Brahma Jigyasa. Therefore you inquire about Brahman. So now, if anybody knows English, so English never starts with therefore, right? You have to have some context for therefore. So this happened, therefore I did this. But here you see Vedanta Sutra, it starts with therefore, Athato. And Sanskrit is a very sophisticated language. It's not like English. Sanskrit is very deep. For example, in Sanskrit, if I have to describe the word friend, English there is only one word. But in Sanskrit, there are many words. There is Sakha, there is Bandhu, there is Mitra, there is Surut. So it's all actually levels. So Mitra means you're just friends. Sakha means you're not just friends. You are more than friends. Bandhu means even more. You are like very close friends. Surut means you are best friend, closest friend. So like that there are many terminologies. So now Sanskrit is starting with therefore. So why it is? Because now that you have got human form of life, this human form of life is very rare. Therefore, you inquire about Brahman. So therefore, so that is the context. Because unless you are human, you cannot come here and study the Vedanta Sutra. So now that you have got the human form of life, therefore, it is a duty to inquire about Brahman. So Athato Brahma Jigyasa. So here is again it's saying animal can inquire about eating, sleeping, but humans can inquire life, death, beyond, discrimination of good, bad, divine, give up old habits, adopt new habits, purpose of life. So human life is very rare. So here it is said in Padma Puran, it is stated, Jalajanava Stavar Laksha Vimshati Krimaya Rudra Sankhaya Pakshinam Dasha Lakshini Vashavastrimcha Lakshani Manushya Chatur Lakshani. So why it is said that human form is rare? Anybody knows now? I think I already showed, but if you add up this, how many total species of life are there according to scriptures?
36 lakhs.
You can just add this.
I haven't had a budget yet.
No, more than that. Anybody knows? 84 lakhs total. 84 lakh yoni. Have you heard of this term? Hindi mein bolte. 84 lakh. 8.4 million species. So I was just researching today that how many scientists have discovered. Scientists have discovered only I think 2.4 million species till now. But the scriptures, because they are very perfect. The scriptures is like a manual. So just like if you buy something like a TV, it comes with a manual, right? So manual has the perfect information. Similarly, the scriptures, they are actually manual of life. So they have perfect information about this world. Anyway, we'll study. There is a lot of depth in scriptural study. So the scriptures, they say that there are 8.4 billion species, and they also say that how many types of which species. So Jalaja Navalakshan, that means Navalakshan means 9 lakhs. A species are aquatics. Similarly, Sthavar means what? In Sanskrit, Sthavar means Sthita. The word actually comes from Sthita. The root is Sthit. So it means the living forms, yes,
Cannot move.
yeah, who cannot move. So basically trees, because animals can move, but trees cannot move, and trees also have life, which science discovered just few hundred years back. Right, but trees have life. So Sthavara Lakshya, that means 20 lakh type of trees. 1.5 million insects, and 1 million birds, 3 million animal bodies, and 400,000 humans. So now you can imagine, you can do some maths and see that how rare this human form of life is. So it is, let me just do probability, P and C. If you do, it is so rare to find humans. So human form of life is so rare. But this human form of life is rare, but it comes with a responsibility, and the responsibility is this: to understand about spiritual knowledge. Along with many times actually people feel that when practicing spirituality, then one has to give up one's material life. So it's very scary for people, but it's not the case. You can practice anywhere, anytime. I think we'll have session of that. It is the age of Kali Yuga where you don't have to leave anything. Sthane sthita, shruti gatam tanuvan. Just stay in the place and still one can practice spirituality. So, so now we are coming to a story. This story comes in um, Kathopanishad. There are various Upanishads. So there are, anybody knows how many Upanishads total? There are 108 Upanishads. Out of 108 Upanishads,
What is Upanishads?
Actually, the Vedas, they are divided into many, what do you say? So there are Shrutis, Smritis, Puranas, Upanishads. So there are various category of Vedic literatures. So I think in future session we'll have a session on Vedas, the Vedic tree, Vedic knowledge of tree, where we'll get to know how there are different varieties. So Bhagavad Gita is also one of the Upanishad. It is called Gita Upanishad. So like that there is another Upanishad, Kathopanishad. So there is Ishopanishad also. So like we'll study different. So there are 108 Upanishads, and there are Itihasas. Itihas is the history. History is the famous history. Can anybody knows the two most famous historical literatures, Ramayana and Mahabharata? So they are called Itihasas. Similarly, there are Puranas. Puranas are 18 in number. So Bhagavad Puran, like there are different Puranas. So Itihasas, Puranas, then Upanishads, and like that. There's a whole Vedic. So yeah, so this story, it comes in Kathopanishad. So so once there was a sage, and he was a king actually. So Raja Rishi, kings are generally called Raja Rishis in Vedic times. So he was performing, he was giving away dana. Dana means charity. He was performing charity to Brahmanas. So earlier people used to do yagya, dana, tapa. So these are three are, yagya means doing sacrifices, dana means charity, and tapa means tapasya. So like that, these are three important duties of a person. So now this king, he was doing dan, he was giving charity of cows to the brahmanas. So this this king, he had his son. His name was Nachiket. So this Nachiket, he was sitting on the lap of his father, and this king, he was giving charity, and he was actually giving old cows in charity to the brahmanas. So this boy was annoying, kind of. He was asking so many questions to his father. That my father, my dear father, why you are giving this, that, and the king was busy giving the charity. So then, while giving charity, he asked, "My dear father, will, you know, will you also give me in charity?" Like that. He was giving cows. So he said that, small boy. He was a very small boy. He said that, "My dear father, will you also give me in charity?" And the father said, "Yes, I will give in charity to Yamraj." So now this Nachiketa, he was very like obey. He was obeying his father. So now father is saying that I will give you in charity to Yamraj. So now it is said, no, Pran Jai Parvachana na Jai. The father has given this. So this boy, he actually went to Yamraj, Yamaloka. And when he went to Yamaloka, Yamraj was not there. So he was out of station. So this boy, he had to wait for 3 days. So now, after 3 days, here you see, Yamraj came back, back home. And Yamraj, he understood that this boy, a Brahmana, he was actually waiting for him. So he felt very sorry for him that he had to wait for a long time. So because to compensate for that, so Yamraj said that to compensate, I will give you 3 boons because you waited for 3 days for me. Yes. So he said that I will give you 3 boons. So now these are the 3 boons that this Nachiketa asked. Now he actually is a very intelligent boy. You will see with the boons that he is asking. Actually asked. Yes. So anybody can read. Maybe we'll just read the first boon by the first boon. Maybe any one of you would like to read.
My first boon, Nachiketa asked that his father should restore his mental peace and be happy to see his dear son back alive.
Yeah. So first boon he asked was, please, you, he said that please you, again I should go back to my father and my father should be happy and peaceful. Because father was very, he was obviously because this child is very small, so he went for his missing. So father was very anxious, so he said that please restore his mental peace. Correct. So that was the first boon. Now the second boon. Anybody else would like to read?
He asked for knowledge of Agni Chiti, the sacred fire, by which one attains heaven.
The second he said that I want the knowledge by which one attains heaven, heavenly planets. Yama said, okay. He granted these 2 boons. Now, Nachiketa has the third boon. Yes, third boon. Anybody else would like to read? Anyone? Yes, would like to read? Your name? Yeah, you can.
Yeah, I can say. My name you asked me.
Yes, yes. Your name is?
Satish.
Satish. Okay, Satish, yes.
By third boon,
Nachiketas.
Nachiketas requested him to impart the knowledge of the Supreme Self,
Atma Vidya.
Okay.
And the mystery of death.
Yeah.
So now in third boon, he is asking to Yamraj, who is the god of death, about the mystery of death and Atma Vidya. So now this is something Yamraj didn't want to give because it's a very valuable piece of knowledge. How to, basically his question was how to go beyond death, because everyone in this world dies after some time. So he says that how one can go beyond death. What is the mystery? How one can cross this insurmountable ocean of birth and death. Because Krishna also says this world is Matya Lokam. Matya Lokam. So like that, so he's saying here that how to go beyond the cycle of birth and death. Shankaracharya says, Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jathare shayanam, iha samsare bahudustare, kripaya pare pahi murare. He's saying, Punarapi jananam, again one has to take birth. Punarapi maranam, again one has to die. So this cycle of birth, iha samsara, samsara means the cycle of birth and death. It's a wheel, samsara chakra. There it goes on, birth, death, birth, death. So he is asking about this Atma Vidya, that how one can cross this cycle of birth and death. Nachiketa is asking whom? Yamraj himself, who is the god of death. So before this, Yamraj, before granting this boon, because he had to grant the boon, but this boon, it was not ordinary boon. So before granting this knowledge, because knowledge is most important. Krishna says, Raja Vidyam, Raja Bhuryam, Pavitram Idam. So with knowledge, one can do anything. So Krishna says that this knowledge of spiritual science is Raja Vidya. There are many kinds of Vidya. Physics, chemistry, maths, so many things, biology. So all these are material Vidya. But Krishna says the knowledge of Gita is Raja Vidya. That means the king of all knowledge. Because when one gets this knowledge, one can actually attain happiness. It's an eternal happiness. So now Nachiketa is asking this question to Yamraj. But before granting the boon, Yama wanted to test whether Nachiketa deserved to be able recipient of that knowledge or not. And it comes in many places actually in Mahabharata Ramayana, where before giving knowledge, Guru tests his disciple that whether he is worthy of that knowledge or not. So now Yamraj is saying, now next, maybe you can read. Yes, anybody would like to read this dialogue between Yama and Nachiket?
When the gods had this doubt in times of old, for mysterious is the law of life and death.
Yeah, continue.
Ask me for another boon, Nachiketas, release me from this.
So Yama is saying that even gods, what to speak of a small child like you, and gods were times of old, they don't know about this mystery of life and death. So Nachiketa, please relieve me from this boon. You ask something else. So Nachiketa is saying, yes, continue.
No great teacher, then you can explain it, sir. And there is no other boon so great as this.
Yeah, so Nachiketa is also very clever. He said that I don't want any other boon, I only want this boon. And you are the god of death, so who can be better to actually ask this question to? So Nachiketa is also not giving up. So now Yamaraj is saying, you can just see what Yamaraj says. Anybody else can read? Yes.
Take horses and gold and cattle and elephant. Choose sons, grandsons that shall live 100 years. Have vast expanses of land and live as many years as you desire. Or choose another gift you think that is equivalent to this, and enjoy it with wealth and long life. Be a ruler of this vast earth. I will grant you all your desires. Ask for any wishes in the world of mortals, however hard to obtain. I will give you fair maidens with chariots and musical instruments. But ask me not, Nachiketa, the secret of death.
Powerful. No? So Yamaraj is ready to give anything to Nachiketa, but he said that take horses, you rule the earth for a long time, enjoy wealth, long life, be ruler. I will grant you all desires, but don't ask me about the secret of death. No one knows. Because a person dies and after, with him the secret also goes. Correct, no? Nobody knows after death what happens. We cannot talk to a person who is dead, dying. Correct, no? After death. This is the most mysterious thing. So he is saying that don't ask me about secret of death. What happens to a person after death? Like that, who is saying? Yamraj. So now, this is a reply of Nachiketa. What Nachiketa says? Small boy, you can learn from a lot. Correct? Na? So Nachiketa is saying. Anybody else can read this?
All these pleasures pass away, they weaken the power of life. Indeed, how short is all life. Keep the horses and chariots and maidens, men cannot be satisfied with wealth. Shall we enjoy wealth with you in sight? I can only ask for the boon I have asked. Grant me the gift that unveils the mystery about the supreme adore where great souls go after
Death.
that place which is beyond heaven in the hell.
Yeah. So Nachiketa is also very intelligent. So he's saying that, okay, you are giving me everything, but he's saying that with you in sight, means Yamraj, how can one actually enjoy? Everyone knows that it will end in some time. So how shall we enjoy the wealth with you in sight? So he is saying that, indeed, how short is life at all? Correct, no? So he's telling that, tell me about a place which is beyond hell and heaven. Beyond heaven and hell. So like that, yeah, Nachiketa is telling Yamraj. And then Yamraj actually does this. Yes, anybody else would like to read?
Dwelling in the darkness of ignorance, the ignorant believe themselves to be wise and balanced. Like the blind led by the blind, they stagger around and around. Childish are those who are deluded by the charms and temptations of the world, and consequently they fail to comprehend the higher truth. To them, this world is only reality. Beyond this, nothing exists. One who is convinced of this false belief falls in my trap, the trap of birth and death, again and again.
Yeah, so Yamraj is revealing now. So for one who is convinced that this world is all in all, he falls in my trap. That beyond this nothing exists. He doesn't have knowledge of another world beyond this world. He only knows about, okay, this is earth and only life exists in earth. But he doesn't know about another world where actually if one goes, there one can find eternal happiness. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, you can repeat after me. न तद्भासयते सूर्यो
न
तद्भासते सूर्यो
न शशाङ्को न पावका
शशाङ्को न पावकः
यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते
यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते
तद्धाम परमं मम.
तद्धाम परमं मम.
So Krishna gives a hint in Bhagavad Gita. We'll study this. I think it will be. I think we are jumping, but there is a whole session about this verse. What Krishna says, he also gives a hint. So yad gatva na nivartante. Krishna says yad gatva. Yad means where, if you go there. Gatva means if you go there. Yad gatva na nivartante. Then you will not come back. Tad dhama, that place, abode of mine is paramam. That is the topmost planet of me, mine. Krishna says that. So just like there is a world here, there is world, there is another world also. Okay, I think this is very common in India. I think I'll just share. So many of you have heard this. How many have heard this? Tamasoma. Anybody knows? Next. Jyotirgamaya. Then Asatoma. Sadgamaya. Mrityorma. Amritam Gamaya. You have heard this? Very common in our childhood. Maybe we have heard. But yes, so what it means? Tamasoma, tamas means
Darkness.
darkness. Tamasoma, Jyotirgamaya means from darkness you go to light. That means from darkness of ignorance. The current state is everyone is ignorant of their own self. They don't know. People don't ask about intelligent questions about life, death, beyond. Why am I suffering? So all these are very intelligent questions. So from darkness of ignorance, you go to light of knowledge. Or this world is also compared to darkness. So from this world which is dark, well, here you need sun and moon. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that na shashanko no pavaka. In that world there is no need of moon and sun. So darkness you go to light of knowledge. Then next is Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. What that means? What? Mrityorma. That means this world. From this world, which is world of death, you go to a world which is Amrita. That means we will not die there. Correct, no? So Mrityorma Amrita Gamaya. Krishna says this is Matya Loka. And it says Asatoma Sadgamaya. That means from this world which is temporary, go to a world which is eternal, permanent. So this is taught in, I think, many of our schools and colleges. Not college, schools, I think. Correct, colleges we teach something else. But anyways, but in our Vedic culture, people were aware of this, right? So everyone knew the goal of life, purpose, Bhagavad Gita. These are very common concepts, but unfortunately, as the age is progressing, we are going farther away from our own culture. So like that, anyway, I think we'll just cover this later, but there are many things, I think, in Katha Upanishad, but these are, I think, 1 month sessions, so I will go in depth later. But the point here is, like Nachiketa, all of us should have this inquire and higher intelligence, find the cause of suffering, purpose of life, to harmonize our life with God and nature to attain eternal happiness. That is the main lesson, that one should ask about something higher. So here Shankaracharya is saying, Balastavat krida sakta, tarunistavat taruni sakta, vruddhastavat chinta magna, parabrahmane kopina lagna. Have you heard of this verse? This is a very famous verse by Shankaracharya. So he is saying that Balastavat krida sakta. When one is small, he plays with toys. Correct? Then when one becomes youthful person, so his time goes in Tarunistavat Tarunistakta. So youth is lost in attachment to woman. Vruddhastavat Chintagrasta. When person becomes old, he has done everything, but he is always worrying about children, grandchildren, his wealth, so many health, so many worries. So he says Vruddhastavat Chintagrasta. But then he says Parabrahmane Kopinarna. But no one has time to inquire about the Supreme Brahman, like that. So in all the phases of our life, people are so busy. We are so busy. This life is itself so busy for everyone. For me also, it's so busy. So it's so difficult to go beyond and think beyond that what we are doing, why we are doing, what is the goal of life, what is the purpose, what happens after death. Why am I suffering? Why do bad things happen to good people? Why good people are suffering? Why bad people? And so many questions about life and beyond, which is so important to ask. But in our busy life, we become so much engrossed in our day-to-day routine activities, and life just passes away. And at one moment, we'll see that we have become old. Now we are 60s, now we are 70s, and just very close to death. And whole life goes without asking about these questions. So the scriptures say that is the most unfortunate situation, that you have got human life, but unfortunately we forget to utilize this human form of life. These scriptures actually condemn a lot. If you read scriptures, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, all the Upanishad, they say that this is the most unfortunate situation, that one has got this human form of life, but one forgets to utilize it. It's just like a person, suppose, gets $1 million lottery, $1 million, and then a person actually forgets to encash. It is only. I mean, lottery hai, sab kuch hai. You think you have got a ticket, lottery ka ticket milta hai idhar, right? So you have got $1 million lottery, but unfortunately, one forgets to encash. Going and encashing the lottery only. So one person who actually doesn't get selected lottery, so is not so fortunate, correct? But one who gets selected in the lottery but forgets to encash it, he is the most unfortunate. not fortunate, but most unfortunate. So scriptures say that human body is like a lottery, because human body one has got after millions and millions of lifetimes. It is so rare. Prahlad Maharaj in 7th canto says, Kaumaram acharet pragya dharman bhagvatamiha durlabham manusham janma tad api adhruvam arthadam. So he says this. Prahlad Maharaj, small boy, 5 years old. So he is saying this verse. He says that Kaumaram acharet pragya means one should start learning about spiritual science from the age of 5. Kaumar age. Therefore, earlier people used to send their kids to Gurukul. So 1 to 5 years, kids are at home. 5 years to 25, kid goes to Gurukul. Gurukul is a place in under shelter of Guru. So he learns about both material knowledge and spiritual knowledge. But unfortunately, nowadays in our schools, we are taught material knowledge, but we are not taught spiritual knowledge. So it's like half. We only know about material things, but there is no knowledge about life, how to live life, and we see so many problems happening. Anyways, we'll come to this later in the society because of this fact. Because people are not aware about spiritual science. There is an age. There Prahlad Maharaj says, Kaumaram Acharya Pragya from 5. Because there, in Sanskrit there is different stages of life compared to have different terminology. So Kaumar is 5. Then Kishore, like that, is 10. Pauganda is 10. Kishore is 15. Kishore age. So like that. So Kaumar age is 5 years. So he says that Kaumaram Acharya Pragya Dharman Bhagavatamya. This Bhagavad Dharma, this Dharma, one should study from age of 5 years. And why? Because he says Durlabha Manusha Janma. This human form of life is so rare. Durlabha Manusha Janma. But he says that this body is also temporary. But Tadapi Adhruvam Arthadam. But from this temporary body, one can actually get, artha means is considered as wealth. But wealth, money is only one form of artha. Correct, no? Artha means anything that is valuable. So he says that tadapi adhruvam arthadam. So he says that one can get the highest wealth using this body. So the highest wealth one can get of adhruvam. That means it will be not lost. From this temporary body one can get eternal happiness. That is the highest wealth one can get. But unfortunately, people don't realize that. Like that Prahlad Maharaj is saying. And here Shankaracharya is also saying the same thing. So it's very important to actually just pause and ponder 2 things. Just pause in life and just ponder that what we are doing, why we are doing, what is the goal of life. So these are very important questions to ask. So yeah, even Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna himself, he says, can you repeat after me? Bharata bhumite manushya janma hoita jar. Janma sarthak kari. Kara para upakar. So he is saying here that Bharata bhumite haila manushya janma jar. At once you have got this birth as a human, manushya, where in Bharata bhumi. So what is one's duty? So he is saying that the first duty is janma sarthaka kari, that one should endeavor to perfect his life. Janma sarthaka kari. And the second is kara para upakar. You help others also. So he says that is the duty of everyone who is born in this holy land of India. That one should perfect one's life and help others to perfect their life. Right? So to help others, one should know what is actually help. One should help himself first, In plane also you see that first put mask on you and then put on others. So first, Janma Sarthaka Kari. One should first himself understand this value and also help others in distributing this knowledge. So we see here, we have big personalities. PM Modi gifted. This is very recent news. He gifted Gita to Putin, and here we have gifted one of the sponsors. He gifted Gita to Lionel Messi. So it's important to spread this knowledge of Gita, and it is duty of every Indian to spread. Actually, in one of the purports in Bhagavatam, so Prabhupada writes there that India has failed in her duty to help the world because the world is ignorant. People are ignorant. People have no knowledge of scriptures, Vedas that we have. But that is our duty to help others. But India, unfortunately, Indians are becoming more and more Western, correct? Without valuing their own culture, values, because that is the thing that we have to give to the people. Just like every country is known for something. Japan is known for something, Germany is known for something, US is known for. So India is known as a spiritual capital of the world. So if we don't give to people, so we are actually not helping others. We are not helping ourselves first, not to speak of helping others. So therefore, actually, when we see these leaders like this spreading this knowledge to others, one should take inspiration. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, repeat after me. Yad yad acharati shreshtas tam tam evetaro jana
Tam tam evitito jana.
sayat pramanam kurute
Sayat pramana kurute.
lokastat anuvartate.
Lokasatan vartate.
So Krishna is saying here that yad yad acharati shreshtas, that how a person behaves, acharati. Acharati means acharan. It comes from acharan. How a person behaves, shreshta means a respectable person in a society. So how a person behaves, and all of us have position of responsibility. One may be a father, mother, teacher, in company some position. So it's all actually responsible positions. These are according to scripture. So yadyat achariti shreshtas. This is yadyat achariti shreshtas tam tam evetoro jana. So how one behaves, other people who are subordinate to them, they will also behave in the same way. So if you are a boss, so seeing you, the people under you will get inspired, or they may find faults according to your character. Similarly, if a father, so the children may see your actions, and they learn more is caught than taught. And they will not learn by teaching; they will learn by acharan. That means how you behave yourself. So this is that sayat pramanam kurun. Whatever they say, lokas tadanuvartat, people will just follow that. So anyway, so I think the point is that this knowledge is very important, so we spread like that. I think I have some other videos also, but I think we don't have much time. So yes, thank you all very much. So this is the first session. Now we just, maybe to summarize the talk, we discussed that how actually we are here because first thing is everyone wants happiness, materialist and spiritualist. So everyone wants happiness, but the spiritualists are people who know where to find happiness. And then they said that what actually happiness? And animals are also looking for happiness in eating, sleeping, meditating. But if you also do the same thing, then we are not different from animals. Ahara, nidra, bhayam, like that we discussed. It is that how human form of life is so rare. And then in this form of life, we did a discussion of Nachiketas, how we discussed, how we asked for an intelligent boon of life, death, and beyond. Similarly, in our life we should ask beyond in our daily routine life, we should ask, pause and just ponder about these questions which scriptures are asking. And you said that how this knowledge is so rare, so one should give this knowledge to others and help in spreading this knowledge. Once Prabhupada, he was, I don't know which sponsor, he was in London airport and he was being interviewed. First time he came to London. So he was being interviewed by a reporter. So the reporter asked Prabhupada that, my dear Swami, why have you come to London? What you want from this? Just like why you have come to America? What you want? Do you want dollar notes? What you want? Like that you asking that what you want from London? So Prabhupada said that, my dear, like Britishers, British reporter, he said that you people, you came to India and you took so much wealth, millions, trillions of dollars of wealth you took home. So much wealth you took. But he said that you forgot to take the greatest wealth that India can give. Now what is that? Can anybody guess? Yeah, the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. He said that, but you forgot to take the greatest wealth, and I have come here to give you in your home delivery. So he said that you took everything, but the most important wealth that India had, you just forgot. So here I am. I don't want anything from here. I have not come to take. I have come to give this knowledge. So thank you all very much. In the next session, we will discuss. So this was just an introductory session, but it's a whole course, Journey of Self-Discovery, where we'll have so many important topics. So next topic will be based on second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the science of soul. So like that, we'll have topic about scriptures. We'll have topic about material world, spiritual. So like many things. And then once we cover this introductory course on Bhagavad Gita, so after that we'll actually start with section by section Bhagavad Gita reading. But just like in any subject, first is concepts. When if concepts are clear, then you actually can perform well in the subject. So similarly, these are all this course will actually cover one concepts, and then once our concepts fundamentals are done, then we'll actually go to study Gita, where Bhagavad talks about 5 main things: Ishvara, Karma, Kala, Prakriti, and Jiva, like that. So we'll cover each of them, and then once we are done, then we'll actually study the Gita from the next session onwards. So I think we'll end here. So it's 8:07. But I think the ending we'll do by meditation. So this is called mantra meditation. I think we'll have a session in depth about that also. But I think because all of us, I think, are very pious Indians, so we already are aware of different meditations. So this meditation that we are doing here is the mantra meditation of chanting of Hare Krishna. So I think we have these. So this meditation, it is called mantra meditation. So mantra means, the word mantra in Sanskrit, it is derived from 2 root words. So man means mind, perfect, and tra means trayate. Trayate, it means release. So mantra means one which can release mind or deliver the mind from all kinds of impurities. So scriptures, they say that there are 6 vikaras or 6 anarthas. Maybe I think you have heard, this is very common. So kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya. So there are 6. Kama means lust, krodha means anger, lobha means greed. So like that, there are so many misgivings of the mind, and because of so many misgiving, the mind is always troubled. So when we do meditation, mind can calm down and relax. So mantra, that which delivers the mind, and meditation. So this meditation is recommended meditation for this age. It is said, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama eva kevalam, Kalau nasteva gatiranyatha. So this verse comes in Kali Santarana Upanishad. So it says that Hare Nama eva kevalam. In the age of Kali Yuga, there is no other way, there is no other way. There's so many kinds of meditation. But this is the most recommended form of meditation in this age. So I will do this meditation for next 10 minutes, and then we'll end and we'll have dinner. I think